The Young and the Restless, YNR, spoilers for the week of March 16 indicate that Diane Abbott, Susan Walters, will still be seething from Jack Abbott's, Peter Bergman, betrayal. Will she seduce Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, in the aftermath of it all for revenge? Diane isn't exactly a fan of Victor's, but considering how worried she was over Jack and his kidnapping, only to find him in bed with his ex-wife, psychopath Patty Williams, Stacey Hayduke. Diane will be bent on some vengeance and could turn to Jack's nemesis for payback. The Young and the Restless fans know that Jack was drugged with something during his time with Patty on the yacht. Patty must have slipped a pill in his drink, as Jack became quite groggy once the twosome returned to his room after a nighttime stroll. In fact, even before Patty sauntered into his room, Jack was given some sort of medication during his kidnapping situation to knock him unconscious. While Jack did his best to keep Patty's seductions at bay, he succumbed to her seduction, and the two eventually did the deed. It was more than an awkward situation when Diane, along with Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, burst into the room to find Jack in bed with Patty during their rescue mission. The threesome moved mountains to try to find Jack and bring him back to Genoa City after they realized Victor had kidnapped him. During the Monday, March 16 episode, Diane was horrified at the sight of Jack in bed with Patty, while both Kyle and Billy were just plain disgusted. As Diane had a meltdown, Jack was still too out of it to explain to her that he had been drugged, and Diane couldn't even muster up the words to tell her husband off. She simply laid a slap across his face that could be felt by YNR fans watching on. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the March 17 show promise a bold move from Diane, so what exactly will Jack's wife do to retaliate? Diane loathes Victor, but she's beyond upset at her husband for what he's done. During the March 13 episode, when Diane, Billy, and Kyle were talking about Jack's rescue, she reminded her son how dark she used to be. Diane also promised she'd ensure those responsible for Jack's disappearance would pay if he got hurt in the process. Diane was willing to do just about anything to bring her husband home, so catching him in the act of cheating humiliated her beyond repair. Victor may have once been an enemy to her, but now that her husband is her target, those feelings of animosity toward Victor could vanish. But how far will Diane go to seek vengeance on Jack? Jack betting Patty was a proverbial slap in the face for Diane, because of Patty's history, not to mention the rivalry Diane has shared in the past with the mentally unstable woman. Could Diane decide to dish the same revenge her husband's way by hitting the sheets with the mustache? The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that Victor isn't on the greatest of terms with his wife, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, so sleeping with Diane might also serve a purpose for him to get back at his wife for what he believes is overconcern for her ex-husband, Jack. Visit CDL often for the hottest, Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and news around.